Hi there. People commonly attempt to encourage by extolling the great possibilities because of our great potential and the virtues of all that we can do, which is a good thing. But sometimes, frankly, I'm better built up remembering how very little I actually have to do. To illustrate, consider two of my favorite words. Rahab lied. There you go. How does that make you feel? Off the charts? Over the moon with encouragement? Well, think about it. Rahab, the hooker, is on the short list of the Biblical Hall of Fame, which is found in the book of Hebrews chapter 11. And maybe you know who is in the Hall of Fame, right? So you got Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses.
Let my people go!
You've got Gideon, Samson, David, and Samuel. And if you're aware of the story of their lives, then you know that while they had weaknesses, that did not stop God from doing great and miraculous things with each of them. So what was Rahab's signature moment that boosted her into the Hall of Fame? She lied. Joshua, king of Israel, had sent spies into Jericho to see how things looked just over the hill. However, the king of Jericho found out about the Israelite spies and sent some of his soldiers directly to the one person's house that would know about men who were new to the community. Who was that? The town prostitute. Woo! Of course, she would know. So what did our little Hall of Famer do? Well, having hidden the spies on her roof under the secure camouflage of branches, no one would think to look for them up on the roof. She cooked up a story. She fabricated something. In other words, she lied. It was something like, the strangers came to my home, but I didn't know who they were, and they left just before dark. I don't know where they went either, but if you hurry, you can probably catch them. And there it is. Rahab's Hall of Fame moment. Woohoo! Congratulations! Give me 5, girl! Confetti everywhere! Yes, Rahab believed the people who were on their way to Jericho and whose spies were hunkered down on a rooftop were sent by the true God. That was as much as she had. So on the strength of that, did she go out and, evangelize the neighborhood to prepare for their coming? No. Did she pass out flyers inviting the neighbors to a potluck to tell people about what was going to happen? No. Did she spend time in anguished prayer to God? No. Did she get rid of everything unclean and non-Jewish in her house before the people of God came for their visit? Actually, their invasion? No, she didn't do that. Did she spend time in worship? Or did she reach out to the poor and needy in order to earn favor with God before the invasion came? No. Rahab lied. That was it. Nothing else. So why do I tell you this? Because it seems to me that much of our fretting and worrying, which is like acid, a poison to us, is over seemingly how meager our service or sacrifice for God is when looking over our past. That it all fails to add up to anything really significant. Maybe we remember great motivational sermons to do great things for God that drew from us great pledges of great commitment to great adventures and great service to God, who is certainly great enough to merit it all. It felt great when we did it. But the years since have not revealed greatness. Confronted by failed greatness, maybe we've closed off just a bit on the inside. Maybe we've sort of turned off some of the lights in our heart, and we're quietly, silently disillusioned with ourselves. Greatness is for someone, we might think, but not for me. What have I ever done that really matters to God? So, to answer that question, I have one for you. What did Rahab do to get into God's Hall of Fame? What did she do? On the count of three, what did Rahab do? 1, 2, 3. Rahab lied. She is the brilliant epitome of mustard seed faith. The tiniest, itty-bittiest little seed of faith in God, clumsily planted. And the mountain that was Jericho began to move. In our day, we are so caught up with doing things right that we miss sometimes entirely what God holds dear and values, and which would free us from much of the fear that plagues us. Listen to what Paul wrote to the fearfully perfectionistic, rule-enamored Galatians in chapter 3, verse 2. I would like to learn just one thing from you. Did you receive the Spirit? In other words, did you get God by observing the law or by believing what you heard? Are you so foolish? Does God give you His Spirit? Does God work miracles among you because you observe the law, because you do things right, or because you believe what you heard? Well, we know the answer to that. If you were to scan my great and worthy moments, the great times of my life, in order to figure out my lineage, my relatives, I know you'd find Rahab figured prominently, for sure. God measures in ways far better than we know. I can't imagine that Rahab thought much of her lie that night, but God did. So, you may rest today, knowing that on the day you meet Jesus face to face on the other side, you will receive a rich inheritance that is imperishable, unspoiled, fadeless, kept for you by your Father, who is pleased with His Son, who provided it all for you. You are good with God. See you later. Let my people go.